Hi INFJs, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm sharing something that I'm still in the process of learning myself, so it's like we're going to be learning together today. I wanted to talk about this because I hear from a lot of INFJs throughout my weeks, whether it's here on the comments on YouTube or messages over on the Book of Face, like on social media, Instagram, or even through emails, and I keep seeing the same patterns come up that I can relate to myself. And I think a lot of you guys are going to relate to what I'm going to share today, what I'm going to talk about. So what we're going to talk about today in this video is a deep fear of rejection. Now, before you swipe away, I know I would have swiped away because I didn't think this applied to me at all. But in my chaotic life that's going on right now, I discovered that I could be the poster child for deep fear of rejection. And I want to share with you what I learned because it was a huge light bulb moment in my life. And I think a lot of you are going to relate to what I'm going to talk about. Like a whole bunch of struggles in my life are caused by this deep fear of rejection that I have. And no, I'm not saying I'm an expert on this. By far, I'm far from it. I'm just now starting to understand how much this has impacted my own life. And I thought maybe talking about it would help some of you as well, because I do see these patterns. I'm also going to share a resource that's been helping me a lot since I've been working through this. And I think that it would help a lot of you guys. So welcome to my channel. If you're new, we haven't met before. My name's Trina. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I help INFJs and neurodivergent INFJs remember who they were before the world told them who they weren't. I do this through coaching classes and community. We unlearn the noise and come back home to our soul. So I hope you find my channel helpful. I'm grateful that you found it. If you're returning, welcome back. I'm glad you came back for my weird videos. I love doing them for you guys. So I invite you, if you haven't yet, to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate your support because your support helps me come back and do these videos for you. And I love doing them. They're like my favorite thing. All right, let's get into this. I have notes I'm going to follow because I just brain dumped things that were going on in my weird mind. So you're going to have to bear with me because I am going to be reading from the notes because I didn't want to miss things out. The first thing I want to talk about is where it starts. Okay, so this fear of rejection for me, I suspect a lot of you might even relate to this. It started when I was really little. I remember those sideways glances that people would have, like family members or teachers, and they'd like screw up their face and look completely disgusted at me when I was just being myself. When you're a little person and people react like that, that really cuts deep. And the only way a little person can make sense of it is to believe that there is something severely wrong with them, that they're bad. So that's how I felt. And I didn't actually even realize it. And I knew that they didn't want me around. Okay, I was being rejected. So thinking back now, I can totally see it. Then I was bullied constantly in my life as a child and even in my adult life. There's bullies that are adults, you know, especially if you're out working outside of the home in a big corporation or an office or with other people, you're going to come across them, right? And I've always got this huge target on my back. So growing up, yeah, I was bullied by students, but by teachers and also by family members on a regular basis. And when I tried to speak up about it, thinking back now when I was younger, I was constantly invalidated, told I was just being stupid yet again, or I was dismissed. So to me, that really felt like rejection. If you put yourself back in your little person's shoes, that's exactly what that is. You're being rejected for who you are, right? And there were times when kids would yell at me at school just to get away from them. And it really confused me because I didn't know what I was doing. I was very quiet, so like I wasn't bold and in the center, getting attention or anything. I was really quiet and I was always on the sidelines just watching and, you know, trying to be kind as best I could. And I guess it was my quietness that really made other people uncomfortable. And right up into high school, they would yell at me just to get away from them. And I'm like, I don't know what I did. It was very confusing. But again, it was being rejected, right? Those experiences stuck with me. And for me, it taught me to scan every face, every tone, every shift in energy, I should say. Always looking for the signs that I didn't belong because I was going to get rejected. Because when you experience that, I mean, it cuts deep, it hurts, right? We don't want to experience that. So we start to fear that. We fear things that don't feel good, that hurt that deeply, that hurt that much. And then later in life, I married someone who constantly reminded me that I was an embarrassment and didn't want me around them. I do not know why they married me, actually. So layer after layer, this built the deep fear of rejection in me, because all of that, it was lots of hurt, right? And like I said, we don't want to feel that. When it's so much hurt, we just don't want to feel that. The problem was, though, I didn't know that I had this fear. There's the big problem. So how does it show up? Looking back now, I can see my patterns so clearly of it showing up in my life now that I understand what it is and it's something I struggle with. For me, it caused me to emotionally shut down. I emotionally withdraw. I am very, very good at that. I didn't even know I was doing it. I've done this with almost everyone in my life, except for my 2 boys and my dogs. With everyone else, there's always this invisible, huge brick or cement wall that I put up, and they have to stay on the other side of it, and I'll like peek around and maybe poke out a little bit and then come back in. And the crazy thing is, I didn't even know that I had it. Like I thought I knew I had walls and protect myself a little bit. I did not know it was like this huge cement wall. I can't even put words to it. I thought I just wasn't good at relationships because I never could build like a connection with people ever. A deep connection with anyone. I thought that I was too weird or too stupid, like I heard daily growing up. So I would stay behind that wall. But really what I was trying to do was just protect myself from rejection. So I kept everyone a long distance away. I could say an arm's distance, but I kept them much further than an arm's length away. Much further. And in past relationships, especially those romantic ones, I can see now how this fear played out. If the dynamic shifted, which as an INFJ, we are excellent at picking up on shifts. We may not always be accurate at identifying what kind of shift is going on, because a lot of us will automatically assume it's going to be a bad one, myself included, right? So when something felt a little bit different, my brain would instantly assume rejection was coming. And instead of talking about it, I'd emotionally withdraw and shut down because it was coming and I didn't want to be hurt. So if I withdraw and I shut down and I don't let them in, and I put that big wall up, they can't hurt me. And I'm much safer behind that wall. So I put up these massive walls. I stay behind it. I keep myself distant. And in doing that, I sabotaged relationships because, of course, people can't connect with me. And in reality, what I was doing was pushing them away in every single relationship. Now, I'm not saying that every single relationship was a good relationship. I mean, I was in a relationship with a few different narcissists. We definitely want to push them away. So it wasn't always a bad thing. But at times, I pushed away a good thing that I assumed was going to turn into a bad thing. But you know what? Thinking back now, maybe it never would have. Thought, it's in the past, can't change it, right? And what's crazy is I had no idea that I was doing this. I did not know. When I emotionally withdraw and shut down, I don't know that I do it. It's so crazy. Now, I probably would know because I've dove so deep into it and I've been able to identify how it feels, because in all those relationships, I go back now and I had the same feelings And it's the feeling and the emotions that I was going through that now I would link to my emotional shutdowns and withdrawing. So now that I know that, it would be a little bit different. And it's crazy. Like, I didn't even know that rejection was coming. I never gave it a chance to play out. I would just get busy protecting myself and then never allow myself to find out. So this fear of rejection, it shows up in many other ways, not just what I was describing. That's the biggest one for me. Although I can relate, I have a whole list of them here I want to share with you because I also relate to everything on this list. So it will show up in having the need to over-explain ourselves all the time. We don't know why we do it. We just over-explain ourselves. It will show up as avoiding conflict entirely. That's me. Hate conflict. Even a small little issue, not even an issue, just a small little thing, I will completely avoid because it might actually start a bigger conflict. And down the road, it's probably going to end up a big one because I let it grow. Not helpful at all. Another way it'll show up, fear of rejection will show up, is asking for help is far too hard. If we ask for help, we're going to be weak, we're going to be needy, and they're going to reject us. For me, asking for help is all of that. Plus, for me, I have in my brain that it gives evidence to everything that I was told about myself when I was younger, that they're all going to be right if I ask for help. That's a huge one for me. Another way it will show up is we downplay our own needs. For years, I didn't even know I had needs. Can admit that. Didn't even know they existed. Another way is always on our toes, looking for signs of disapproval, looking for signs that they're going to reject us, that we're not good enough for them, that we're always watching, to pick up on the shift of body language or the tension. Sometimes I think maybe even we might create it ourselves. It might not even be there. It's just that we're scanning so deeply because we're trying to protect ourselves that we think we see it. And it might not always be there. I can admit that. Another way it will show up is a strong drive to prove ourselves, right? Especially nowadays, the in thing is that people are friends with their ex-relationship partners. If you get somebody like me, carries a lot of baggage internally, that's a bad situation because that really feeds that strong drive to prove myself, because now I have that fear of rejection going on. I need to prove that I am worthy and that I am better and that I am all of this that I really don't need to prove anyway. There's no reason to. But in my brain, there is. And another way it will show up is being a chameleon, right? We don't want to stand out. We don't want to bring attention to ourselves. It's safer that way for us. So what's really interesting, this gets a little bit deeper, a little bit I want to share with you that I've learned, is there's a link between fear of rejection and shame. And shame runs deep in the INFJ community. While I've been working through this, I've been reading one of Brené Brown's books. I'm a huge Brené Brown fan. I really like her books. And there's something that she talks about that really struck me, and it is the connection between shame and rejection. Shame says, there's something wrong with me, right? When we have shame, that's what, there's something wrong with me. It's me. I'm bad. I'm no good. I'm not good enough. Rejection feels like the proof that shame is right. Crazy, isn't it? She goes much deeper into it. And the thing is, I think most everyone in the world carries shame in some form, but for INFJs, especially those of us who grew up sensitive, bullied, or constantly misread or invalidated, it can cut especially deep because we got a lot of deep shame we're carrying with us. Because we process so much beneath the surface, we internalize these experiences. And we don't just think that person rejected me. We think, I must not be worthy. I must not be good enough. Again. So it's true, right? And that belief shapes everything. Overthinking, people-pleasing, emotional walls. It's been crazy. So this is the book I want to share with you. It's Brené Brown. I hope I say her name right. And it's called Daring Greatly. That's the name of it, and this is what it looks like. And it says how the courage to be vulnerable transforms the way we live, love, parent, and lead. So when I find something that I'm struggling with, I have to dive deep into it and learn everything about it. And AI is one of my best friends. So I asked AI for books on this particular topic, and this is the very first one AI suggested. There was a whole list, but this is the first one, and I've been working my way through it, and I love it so much. I'm only about halfway through, and I have picked up so much, so I really highly recommend this. So what am I learning? Realizing this about myself has been huge. That deep fear of rejection and the shame tangled up in it have been driving many of my choices without me even knowing. One thing that I'm taking from Brene Brown's work, that book, is that vulnerability isn't weakness, it's courage. Rejection doesn't define your worth. That's huge, and I'm reminding myself that every day. And the only way to truly belong is to let yourself be seen, even when it feels risky, right? So if we really want to truly connect with somebody and have relationships, and maybe not romantic ones, but even with friends, we need to be seen, even when it feels risky, even when it feels scary. And yeah, it might hurt in the end, but it also might not, right? We don't know that. We just assume it's going to. And the only way we can truly belong is to let ourselves be seen. I just repeated that because I'm reading my notes. My apologies. So I'm going to be talking about this. This is where I wanted to go with this. I'm going to be talking about this way more in my private off social community because a lot of us are struggling with the same thing. I really think that a lot of us are. So if you've been searching for a safe place where you can just be yourself, feel understood, connect, and talk about tough things like this without feeling invalidated or feeling like you're a sissy or that you're just playing the victim's card, then I invite you to check out my community. I'm going to leave the link in the description of this video if you want to have a look. Again, if you've ever felt like this, like what I've been talking about in this video, or if you've emotionally withdrawn, sabotaged relationships, carried that quiet fear of not ever being good enough and getting pushed away again, and you're going to be alone forever, you're not alone. I'm right there with you. So I want to leave you with a question to think about. What would change in your life if you stopped living as though rejection was proof that you're unworthy? I want you to think about that. What would change in your life if that rejection didn't mean that you were unworthy? Give it some thought, reflect on it. I don't have all the answers yet. I'm still working through this myself, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share them in the comments if you feel comfortable enough to do that, because chances are someone else needs to hear your story too. Thanks for joining me. I'm really glad that you listened to me yatter. Again, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate the support. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about if you've ever felt like you live in constant state of fear, frozen, stuck, and not even sure why. Like that fear is so deep we can't put words to it. We can't explain how deeply that fear feels to others so that they can understand. I want you to know you're not alone. I'm there with you. I have it. I experience it. It's something that I have lived with for as long as I can remember. So my next video, I'm going to be sharing my own experience. Also, what I've learned about the link between that fear, anxiety, and that specifically that fear and autism. It's going to be interesting, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you soon, real soon. Bye for now.